All right, this could be the final game of the tournament. Who really knows? It depends on who wins it. Last time around, a Chief Jaguars team took the victory, so if they do so again, it will be the end. On the top side, we have got, I'll introduce them once again, even though we know who these guys are. We've got Asparagus as Aeon, FTX Commando as UEF in what I presume is the air slot. We've got Farms as UEF in the front, and then Cybern, the faction of choice for Dro on the south edge of the north team, or right team, however you consider it. Chief Jaguars in the air slot taking UEF once again, I'm sure ready to abuse those broadswords. We've got UEF for Blue Owl, Seraphim for Nexus in the center, which is actually a good choice because you got hover units. And then we have Massive on the north side, UEF again. You may think that this map looks a little bit familiar. It is named The Requisite, but it is actually, I think, The Ditch is the name of the map. The Ditch is a very dark map with a ludicrous amount of reclaim, and it appears that some reclaim has made it back into this map, but there's not as many boulders. We've got a few large boulders here and there that are going to give a little bit of a reclaim boost, but nothing too terribly much. So this is kind of balance it out better as a 4 versus 4 team map with your more traditional amount of mexes. Actually, it looks like 5 versus 5 because there's another spawn over here. So a 5v5 team map as opposed to a 3 versus 3 with fewer mass extractors but more reclaim. Navy can play a part. You got a nice big shiny lake up here and then a mirrored one down on the south edge. And then your naval passageway is big enough that you can get destroyers and all other manner of units through here. So obviously, if you get frigates online, you can stop hover units from crossing. Hover units are going to be invaluable as raiding tools, but I think that a T2 Navy shift is something to be considered quite heavily, although I think Salem's would be able to reach all the way from the edge of the water into the home bases of the center 2 players. Now, I think I saw right here, yes, we have got 2 Salem wrecks accompanied by some tank wrecks on this edge, and then we've got the same thing over here, exact mirroring, reclaim there. Then we've got clumps up on the front edge, and of course, 7 mass extractors on the center island, so if you are able to get the center under your control, you will have a good, solid advantage. All right, let's keep on seeing what these guys are doing. We've got First Land Factory out. For most people, I would assume that is generally the rule of things. We've got a Hydro that's a little too far away to rush, but is being pushed after the first few P-Gens. We've got Second Air Factory coming online for Asparagus, Second Air for FTX as well. He does have his Hydro online a little bit more quickly so that he has the eco to do this. Farms has moved up to the front to assist the build of his Hydro and has got an early Air Factory online, getting an Interceptor out, though his Interceptor is not quite as quick as Nexus's is. That was a lot of his is. We've got Second Air for, this is Dro as well. I wish that these guys would consistently keep the same color throughout the entire tournament. I know that he has since the last game, but I think it was a different color earlier on. Air fight over here is going to come out favoring Farms, I think, although, yes, 2 versus 1 against the last Interceptor, so no air control for you, good sir, though you build many of the Interceptors. Blue Owl, Second Air as well. Looks like he's going for a transport out to the forward mass extractors. You will notice that there is not a passageway on this. You have to walk, slam around the thing in order to get anywhere. So a drop here is actually quite a safe thing to do. And then if you can get up on the plateau, you can raid these mass extractors with mobile missile launchers or T1 artillery. Plus it gives you a foothold on the other side of the map. A nice thing to have. There is not a mirrored move happening on this edge, though we do see interceptors coming out under a fair bit of assistance from Asparagus. T1 bomber headed to the other side of the map, should be able to pick up an engineer over that way. And then we have a transport up for Massive, who is planning to drop on top of the plateau. I would hope that he drops the forward mass extractors as well, but we'll have to see what he does. Jaguar is on 2 air factories already, increasing his power production as we speak. And then in the center, transport is shot down, but an engineer survives. That 1 in a million chance. When that happens, he will get the engineer out and be able to reclaim all of these Salems. There is a bomber on the way. It looks like we've got heavy air control from the north side. Look at the sheer quantity of interceptors that have been built. We've got 4 from white, 5 from purple, 4 from farms, and then a transport is out and about from farms as well. We've only got 3 opposing interceptors on this entire side, well 4, and then 3 down on the south, but Red has broken away with 3 of his own to go after that locale. Drop moving up onto the top of the plateau might get some land factories online to contest this area, but we do have 4 land factories along with simultaneous mass extractors being built on the south side. So Blue Owl is going to get a pretty good leg up here on his production. Engineer drop for 2 mass extractors up on the plateau. Obviously you can walk up and get those, but it would be more efficient to fly there, as you will get there more quickly. T1 transport going to get shot down, but not before the engineer payload has been dropped off and we got multiple land factories on the way. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen a T1 naval factory rush from at least 1 person, but I suppose the way that the rest of the map is going, we can expect to see spam taking the day again. Looks like ACU is moving towards this base. Dro queuing up a couple of mass extractors and then cutting off the pass right here with his commander. I was about to say that that is a little bit of forward exposure that you don't want, but he is able to dive right into the water, which gets deep rather quickly. Should be able to hide his ACU in the pond and not take any excessive damage. We do have a T1 naval factory planned for Chief Jaguar. Good deal there. No T1 hover units for UEF. Nope, that's not Jaguar. That is Blue Owl in the navy blue color. I am used to that being Jaguar's color, but he is pink today. So naval factory is a good plan. You can get frigates up, stop hover spam, and contest the center map line quite effectively. Nexus is moving up to the front. Obviously, this engineer got sniped off by the bomber that passed by earlier. We've got another drop from Purple. Asparagus getting engineers in on the mass. That's going to be most of the mass from the center going towards the right-hand team, which will put the left side team at a little bit of an economy deficit. However, the map control does favor the left side. We've got the forward base here. We've got the forward base there. We got the first naval factory planned by a member of the left side team, so that is an advantage there as well. And then we've got an ACU on the center of the map. Okay, we'll have to wait and see how this game goes. We're popping around looking at the eco farms as top on score, but definitely not top on economy. That belongs to FTX Commando at 39 mass per tick, Massive at 37k, Jaguar at 23, and then we've got 25 for Asparagus. So Dro at 29. That means that the vast majority of the top players, we've got Farms, Com, Asparagus. The top 3 scores belong to the north. Then we've got Massive, Nexus, and then Dro is below a Chief Jaguar. So I don't know how to call this. I do not know how to call this. Nexus is pumping out a good amount of air units. Those are going to be able to cover this other side where Blue Owl is now taking the plateau for himself. The ACU is not really intent on getting tangled up with 4 land factories, so he is going to kind of skirt around the outside edge. But even if he does decide to dive in, Blue Owl is covering his base with his commander as well. As strong as the air control was for the north before, I think we are shifting towards south side air control, because while Farm still does have about a dozen interceptors there, and then we've got another 10 or so for Asparagus. We've got 8 plus another, let's call that 11 or so, plus another 10. So I think we're actually advantaged to the south on air at the moment. Good solid map control over on the left side. Good dealio. And then we've got Jaguar, who needs to be teching up more. I think he may have gotten a little bit disrupted by the fact that the airbase is so large. It's difficult to get all of your units in the correct placement to get these heavily assisted T2 mass extractors online. He's working on his 3rd at 76%. FTX Commando on the other side has got nearly all T2 mass extractors and has already begun to cap. He's at 60 mass per tick, scaling up ridiculously rapidly. This is not going to end well for the Southside team if that player is able to get to T3 air that quickly. Dro going to be driven back into the water by a good amount of T1 spam and Blue Owl's ACU. We'll take a look-see at how quickly that water rises up on the commander. Looks like it's actually quite shallow across the edges. So the ACU is going to dip the gun arm below the water and then move over to the other edge. No, it did pop out right there. So as long as it's not walking, its gun arm is exposed. Nice. Okay. So he'll be able to hit all of that stuff. Looks like Massive's ACU, oh my goodness, that's actually a pathable location. Okay, that's a useful piece of information. So there might be a passable location right here as well. Everybody make a note of this. It could be your salvation one day as you're trying to figure out how to get units from one side of this to the other. So you can come around this edge and then walk right across instead of having to go all the way around the other side or all the way around the point. Could catch your opponent off guard. Looks like we got T2 Air Factory already. We've got 2 T2 power generators, and we are 60% of the way to a T3 Air Factory upgrade. Jaguar, on the other hand, has just barely gotten his first T2 power generator as of now. And then we've got multiple T1s still waiting to get upgraded. Overall, there is a pretty significant economic deficit to the left side. Massive has got a good income. He's at 95 per tick right now, but some of that may be reclaimed. Yes, he's at 67. So 67 there, and that is the closest person to contesting FTX's mighty 73 mass per tick. So this is looking rather dire for the left-hand side. Although Blue Owl, how are you only at 37 mass income? Are you power stalling? No. You're all T1. That's what it is. Okay. 37 to 43 because there's 3 T2 mass extractors in the back end there. Interceptors being pumped out like mad from Dro's Air Factory. He sees the air problem and he is trying to rise to the challenge. This is going to get worse and worse for Blue Owl. He's wasting mass on a torpedo defense that might be able to reach the ACU. It is. Okay, so he will be able to force Dro out of the upgrade. I take it back. That's not a waste. So he's able to see that. What is it? What is it now? So somebody paused the game in order to go and do something. Achieve Jaguar saying that we have both sides. Yes, yes, we do. That's a good thing. The only problem is air, and yes, that's about to get exponentially worse because the T3 power generator is being built. It's already queued. That engineer is about to swing around and start it as we speak. Achieve Jaguar accurately stating that he is very, very behind. And this is the kind of position you get into where you don't really have a way to get ahead. You're behind on mass. What else are you going to do? Like, you've got to go through the same motions of upgrading your mass extractors, but the entire time you're upgrading, your opponent is making more mass than you are, and it just doesn't turn out well. Prepare for strat. I'm not even close, Achieve Jaguar says, which I think is a very accurate statement indeed. Kind of taking a look at this. Let's flip through and get a count. So we've got 12 interceptors, 20 interceptors there. Then if we go to Achieve Jaguar, we are up to 20, so that's 40 total. Then if we go to Blue Owl, we can go to 45. And then to Nexus, 1. So that is 46 interceptors on the south side. Then if we go out to the north, we've got none for white. Farms is at 6. Then we've got Dro, who has got a few, I think. So 8. That makes for 14. And then Asparagus is at 10. So 24. Heavy, heavy favor towards the left-hand side with T1. But obviously, T1 Air has a difficult time stopping strat bombers. And then once 6 or 7 ASF hit the field, it's a lost cause. Think you have more eco than him, Jaguar says. That would be a mistake to assume, but he is close. 71 to 81. All right, onwards and forwards. We got a torpedo bomber in on Dro now. They're going all in on the snipages. If Blue Owl can get close enough and the damage can be done, he might have the HP to make this work. The ACU is going to have to stop the upgrade below 5,000 HP now. He is in a lot of trouble. He's going to go to the south, maybe a pathfinding collision with the engineer. Nope, that is a purposeful move order. But now the torpedo bomber can hit him even more freely. He is out of range of the torpedo defense, though. The torpedo bomber is going to get one more pass of damage. 38k on the ACU, and there is a point defense in the way of all of these units moving towards the south. Tort Bomber making his next pass. Achieved Jaguar going for a second. No, that's not achieved. Sorry, Blue Owl. Getting confused on these colors that usually take place. 3,200 HP on the ACU as the second Tort Bomber comes in. A third on the way. Why is Dro walking even further out into the water? That is a poor choice. 2,600 HP, he's dead. There is no way that he's going to live through this. He's too far away from the shore, and even if he does make it to the shore, there's enough units in the commander close by that's going to be able to kill the son of a diddly. Why did you not go to the freaking shore? You're walking out to sea again. There we go. Now he's turned around. Now he can get back to safety. But it might be too late. We got units moving to the south. Are you trying to dodge torpedoes in the water? Is that what you're doing? I mean, you're at 1,600 health. We can see how well that's working for you. Dro moving all of his interceptors down to eliminate these torpedo bombers as quickly as possible. Torps looping around once again. 1,700 HP on the ACU. Is he really going to escape? T1 subs coming in now. Those could get reclaimed, but that is going to put out more damage on the commander. He's going to regen back up to 2k HP. Units surrounding the lake, so he now cannot move out into safety, and Blue Owl's got a point defense to guard this entire edge. So it may be slow. Oh, he's got stealth. That's what's up. All right. So the sub was not able to find him. He's at 2,000 and regenning. I mean, they know that he's in the water here. There's no way to get past that. So all they have to do is cycle the sub around until it gets in range of the ACU. Maybe he thinks that since the stealth has cloaked that ACU, it's moved out onto land over here somewhere. This is a weird situation. This ACU should be dead 10 times over. But it's still regenning. It is still regenning. I don't understand. We're going to go look at the north for a minute. So I got Swift Winds out. Asparagus has entered the air game strongly. But interceptors are under fire from trailing air right there. That's where you don't want to get into trouble because, yeah. All right, so he's retreating. If you make a bad turn in air, sometimes it's actually better to fight it out and lose anyway than to try and retreat. Because if you retreat all the way across, you're going to lose a bunch of interceptors, but you're going to do no damage to the enemy player. However, I think the numbers were high enough on that one and he had enough out of reach that retreating was the proper thing to do. Usually if you've got like 25 ASF or 25 interceptors engaged, then you want to turn and fight because you're just going to lose your entire force instantly. But with it strung out like that, probably the better choice was the one they made. T2 point defense. That's an interesting choice. Asparagus, what is your range on that? Not very high. But we do have Navy from Massive as well, who is building frigates. The frigates are not going to be able to get through. Well, no, they can hug this side and get past the T2 point defense, so it is not a lost cause. We've got the Tort Bomber there. ACU is at 3,000 HP and still regenning. All you need is a scout. Nope, because that's not going to get vision below the water, is it? You need to be trolling around with all of these subs as quickly as you can to get that ACU in range. You really need to kill that commander. Torpedo bomber in on something there. What was that? Oh, it's auto hitting the radar spoofs that the UEF frigate is putting out. So that torpedo bomber died without killing a single useful thing. We've now got T3 Air moving across from FTX Commando. That is going to put a strong airlock on a Chief Jaguar. We've also got the ultimate try-hard move, the reclaim and build for a T3 Mex. What this does is if you can build a T3 Mass Extractor faster than you can upgrade it, if you have enough build power in the area, basically is what that boils down to. You can reclaim the T2 Mass Extractor, which gives you a significant amount of mass. Like, I don't know, half to 2/3 of the total cost of the T3 Mass Extractor. And then you build it as quickly as possible, and it cycles up to T3 more quickly because you have that mass in the bank. And it actually puts you ahead on economy. Somebody in chat I know knows the proper numbers for this, but I do not. Okay, looking around here, looking around. Nexus is under fire from some T2 gunships, but he is spamming T1 anti-air along with interceptors from the rear, and he has his frigate on the front for anti-air as well. We've got a missile launch from Farms, who has got the attack missile launcher upgrade on his ACU, so he'll be able to knock out these naval factories and then move up on the base. Obviously, there is tac defense in the base, but that ACU is still a nasty thing to have close. We've got tac launches out on this area. T3 Air Factory down for massive, but he does have a lot of exposed mass extractors with no TMD in place. So he's going to start losing eco at a disturbing rate, I feel like. He did pull ahead of FTX Commando on mass, but only slightly. A single T2 Mass Extractor dying will bring him into equal range. All right. I was asking about the reclaim value of a T2 Mass Extractor. So it should be 81% the cost of a T2 Mass Extractor. How much is that of a T3 Mex? Ouch! There goes the first. Dropping down on eco. And we've got another move from ASF. Jaguar does have a SAM up in his base, so he'll be able to deny air directly overhead. But of course, that has a bit of limited range, so he won't be able to project his air and protect his opponents. Me and Mistha have dumped almost 20k bits. Yes, because you are completely insane. But I am very thankful for it. Alright, Blue Owl still struggling against the units on this side, even though he should have killed that commander a long time ago. Where is Red's ACU? It is all the way back over there now. Probably dropped, and we now have a unit dropping right on this side. Nope, it is still traveling. What is that? It is a Loyalist. Loyalist on the opposing edge. Nice. Okay, that'll be able to get some good rating in since there are 0 combat units on this side. T1 tanks being built, moving over to this edge, probably in some form of anticipation. But now that Loyalist is just kind of sitting there unused. Why you know go do some things. Make use of that unit while you have it, by golly. Alright. Looks like Farms is tac missiling more T2 Mass Extractors as he goes around. Knocked Massive down a peg. 88 mass income. Look at all of the empty T2 Mass Extractor slots. Good lord. That's bad. He also killed build power next to the factory with that P-Gen explosion. And T2 gunships are now probing into the base. Farms able to front these due to the lack of ASF from the other side. So this is exactly what I was concerned about, where the strong eco in this air slot was going to end up screwing the opposing team, even though they had vastly superior map control, because T3 Air is such a strong tool in the right hands, and the Jaguar up on the front abusing that tac launcher is not very helpful. Tac launch coming in on that T2 Mex. That is the last one out of the group. Sadly, it does go down. Tac defense going up across the front though, so hopefully that will be mitigated, but a loss is a loss. It is what it is, what it is. Might want to get some Sparkies out here, bro. You're going for a T3 land factory upgrade while a Loyalist is destroying your outer mexes. You could have built some pillars to try and deal with it. You could have built some other stuff. We've got a brick and a Loyalist on the front line now. Blue Owl, with his paltry 64 income, is not going to be able to spam anything up in time for that. And Nexus, hold on. Nexus is defeated. That was a Control K. Massive has Control K'd at the same time, and I'm sure Jaguar and Blue Owl will follow suit. I don't know that that was completely lost. I don't know that that was completely done for, but it was definitely going down the tubes quickly. Look at this. The top 3 scores, the top 3 ecos are all on the right side. Yeah, that was pretty much done. Lose the mid is GG, says the Chief Jaguar. I wouldn't go that far, because Farms had a totally ridiculous amount of naval spam, which completely destroyed everything that the other team put out. So it's not entirely up to that, but you could say it. In before air nerf from the land balance tournament. 810 mass from the T2 Rec and 4.14k for the T3 mechs. Okay, there's a useful number. So basically you're getting about 30, no, not 30. You're getting about 20% of the cost of the T2 mass extractor back. However, at 9 mass per tick, let me look at this. Actually, that's relatively simple math, but I want to make sure I'm exact. So 810 divided by 9. That's going to be 90 seconds that it takes a T2 mass extractor to make 810 mass. So as long as you can build the T3 mechs faster than 90 seconds, you're better off reclaiming the T2 mechs, because you will get more mass from the wreck than you would from the T2 mass extractor building during that time. That is the end summary of that. All right, we're gonna call that game lost. I believe that this hitch means that the game has ended 5 minutes in the future, but we all know which way this is going, so we're not going to wait for the painfully long and slow death over the next 5 minutes of these players. I'm gonna call that one a loss for a Chief Jaguars team. Congrats to Farms and crew for the win, and that means we get another game. The next game will decide the winner of the Rebalance tournament. That is gonna wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.